Hi, my name is Hilary Ramp, and I want to thank you for your interest in my research proposal, which is titled, Are School Libraries Meeting the Needs of English Language Learners? I'm interested in this topic for a couple of reasons. First of all, there certainly is a growing population of English language learners, both across the United States and also specifically here in Virginia. And then also, as a graduate student in school librarianship and a future school librarian, I believe really strongly in making sure that school librarians do know how to meet the needs of all of their students, including English language learners. So, I wanted to focus on a couple of different areas in my study. First of all, looking at the availability of school library resources in languages other than English, and then looking at collaborations between school librarians and teachers of English language learners. So, why look at the availability of resources in languages other than English? Well, not a lot of research has been done on school library services for English language learners, but there is quite a lot of research on second language acquisition in general. And much of this research demonstrates that it is really important for English language learners to have access to reading materials in their primary language, so the language that the first language they learned to speak. So basically, the research shows that having access to reading materials in that primary language and improving your literacy skills in your primary language is very important in supporting your ability to acquire a second language, in this case, English. And then I also wanted to focus on collaborations between school librarians and teachers of English language learners in order to try to figure out how these resources might be used in the academic setting, and then also to just get a better idea of the current state of school library services to English language learners. So in order to make this study more manageable, I decided to narrow my focus a bit and only look at school librarians and teachers of English language learners in elementary schools in the Richmond, Virginia area, in which the schools had a student population that was at least 20% English language learners. And then, so after looking at that criteria, the main research question I wanted to answer is, to what extent are elementary school libraries meeting the needs of English language learners? And then I broke that down into 4 more specific questions. First, what non-English language resources are available in the school library? Second, how well do non-English language resources align with the needs of the English language learners? Third, how do school librarians promote the library's non-English language resources to teachers of English language learners? And fourth, how do teachers of English language learners use the library's non-English language resources with their students? So in order to answer these questions, my proposed plan is to conduct a mixed methods study by first gathering quantitative data from an online questionnaire, and then next gathering qualitative data from follow-up in-person semi-structured interviews. So during the first phase, school librarians and teachers of English language learners would be invited to complete the online questionnaire, and they would have to be school librarians and teachers of English language learners who are currently at elementary schools in the Richmond, Virginia area where there's a population of at least 20% English language learners. So it would just be a brief questionnaire that would have items on the different research questions that I'm attempting to answer with this study. And then after those questionnaires are administered and I've received an adequate number of responses back, the next phase of the study would be then to invite school librarians and teachers of English language learners who did complete that questionnaire to participate in follow-up interviews. And my hope would be to find at least 4 and a maximum of 8 school librarians and teachers of English language learners to participate in those follow-up interviews. And the interviews would cover, of course, pretty much the same topics, but just more in depth, giving school librarians and teachers of English language learners the opportunity to elaborate on the answers that they gave in the online questionnaire and to really give a fuller picture of the current state of school library services to English language learners at the elementary level. So I hope that this brief overview has been informative, and thank you again for listening and your interest in my study.